Okay, we're back with the recording, and what I've noticed here is that this piece here, by the way, is from here, just for those that are referencing. I thought this was originally the sword, but no, it's just this cool little piece. We'll find out what that does later throughout the end of the video. But I noticed from the base, we are actually missing something at the bottom here. There's something that should be connecting here, down here. It looks like a magnet here, so we're missing the other half of the base, which I could not find in here. So then that made me think that the other half of the base must be in the other palette, because there's nothing else in this base here or palette here. So we'll put this away here real quick, and I'll see you guys in the other palette. All right, let's get back to the rest of the video here. We're gonna look for this other part of this base. It should definitely be in here, because if it's not in this palette, then there's nowhere else to find it. I do see some good luck. Ooh, those look nice. Okay, all right, let's unlock this layer here first. So this here, adjust my camera real quick. All right, there you go. Put this to the side. This is probably gonna be the other part of the base. That's what it looks like here. All right, nice packaging like usual. Okay. Let's see, you gotta take this out very carefully. Right here. Yeah, this is the other part of the base. I do see it now, and oh. No. Guys, this broke. It came broken. I think this was part of here. Yeah, it was. Ooh. I had a feeling this statue is gonna have more breaks than other ones just because of how it was built. Or the design. Unfortunately, because it's so like spiky and such, it's just so much easier to break. Like that piece right there broke off, as you can see. At least I know where I can glue it, so I'll try to glue that back later on. And I'll show you guys the final result when I glue it back on, hopefully. I don't know if I get the time. But this here, okay, there's so many pieces here. Oh my goodness. This thing's like stuck in here. Okay. Not gonna lie, in terms of efficiency, like of these pieces, oh, there we go. It's definitely a little harder for sure compared to other statues I've so far unboxed. Okay. And I think there's nothing else down here. I always dig down here to make sure, but yeah, there should be nothing else down here. Okay, so this is the other piece. Again, it looks sick. Obviously, you can tell the broken part came from here, unfortunately. But yeah, this is the other piece of the base. So we're gonna put this bad boy on. In terms of effects, though, it looks very nice. Looks very clean. The blue looks very fire. Okay. So we're gonna move this. We're gonna put this in. And I gotta figure out the rotation real quick, so let's figure this out together. Yep, I do have it right. Should be like this. There we go. Voila. It's a pretty strong magnet. Just testing out the magnetism. It's pretty strong. It's in there. All right, there we go. So that's that piece there, which is good. Again, just gotta keep myself a reminder. This piece broke off here, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to glue that back on manually. Let's turn this thing around. Again, whenever you get statues, guys, you can't expect it to be perfect. All right, you know, shipping is a thing, especially depending on where you are in the world, how far you are. I mean, breaks are like expected, almost in a sense. I think that also might have broke here, I believe right here. Definitely looks like there's something here before. I think that spike kind of got chipped off. And there's just some, I think, dirt on here. Whatever this black stuff is. Just gonna take that off. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I'm just taking it off here slowly. Anyway, that's not a big deal. We'll leave that there. I love how I'm saying that, but I'm still trying to take it off. Okay, cool. We got it. Awesome. Now it's coming together slowly. Let's see, there's another base effect, I believe, right here. So always go for the base effects first, obviously, before you get to the character. So it's another base effect. Gotta be careful, because I will say, like I said, these bases are quite spiky. So because they're spiky and pointy, it's not easier for them to break. But I'm not too worried about these bigger pieces right here. Obviously, you know, the effects are a lot easier to break off. So this here has no magnet anywhere. So I'm kind of confused. What the point of this here is? Yeah, guys, I don't know where this goes. Maybe this just might be for decoration or something. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't see anything where that goes. So I'm gonna place that there. Place it back in here. All right. Now we have another effect piece. This one is massive. Hopefully the big one doesn't break, because that would suck. So what the big one looks like. Ooh. The rocks are nice. They're a nice add-on for sure to a statue. Ooh. Oh my gosh, that was close. This thing's so fragile. You guys see this? Like how fragile, and you can see how easily these could break. Yeah. All right. Overall, in my opinion, the effect piece is huge. It looks very nice, detailed. I think that one thing they could improve is making the rocks not shiny. I feel like when you make them shiny, it does look like, I'd say, like lower quality in a sense. So I do prefer if they made the rocks not shiny or glossy. But aside from that, it does look very good. Here's the overall look at the effect piece. And let's see where this one goes. It should go this other way here, facing this way. Again, I'm just as clueless as you guys are. Alright, there's no videos on this stuff. This is just purely... I do wish maybe they made like a little, at least tiny manual though. That would be so much more helpful for stuff like this. But that's also part of the experience and what makes this so fun, this hobby. So yeah, we'll have to figure out where this massive effect piece goes, because I do not see anything. Make sure to be very careful when I place this down too. Okay, that's there. Okay, we have something else here. Another effect piece. Okay, nice. That's what's up. I'm loving these effect pieces. I love blue. Blue is like my favorite color, so. Okay, we're gonna figure out where this goes too. The blue is kind of like a cyanish blue color. It's like a dark blue. For those that are wondering what it looks like in person, it basically looks like what it looks like on camera, but maybe like less bluish. But yeah, that's what it looks like. So we have stuff actually already taken out. We're not missing too much stuff here. Like everything here is complete. Everything here is complete. All we have left is this here, which is a very tiny effect piece. Okay. All right. So we have that. So this is what we got so far in review. And then we have the sword. That's what I presume this is. Yep, there it is. There's the Zanpakuto. Ooh, guys. Straight off the bat, the Zanpakuto is nice. This feels so sturdy. Alright. This feels like metal. This doesn't feel cheap at all. Immediately as soon as I took out the sword, it feels like quality. The chain, I feel like definitely could have been bigger, for sure. But in terms of the quality, oh yeah, this is quality. Sword has a pretty good amount of weight, especially towards the end here. So I'm hoping that doesn't snap off. Again, there's a difference between quality and also effectiveness. So we're hoping that does well there. But this is a sword. Looks nice. Wish the chain was bigger. Just some suggestions for future designs from studios. And we have another effect piece here. Alright, so this one is an interesting color. It is more like a greenish teal color. So I'm guessing it's has to do with some sort of other thing that I'm missing. But guys, that should be it. There's nothing else here in the box. So it's not as much as I thought, to be honest. We reached the bottom of the table. Just checking again. Again, you always want to double check though before you put the stuff away, because it would be annoying to having to, put all this away just to reopen it again. That's what I'm currently doing. But yeah, everything so far seems to be out. All right, so now we have everything out. This is actually not so bad of a statue put together. There's a lot less moving parts than I thought, especially because the body is in one part. It's not like two different parts you put together. Usually with the character, you usually have to put the head, torso, and lower body separately. But I believe this piece here goes, just looking at the bottom based on this design, should go in here. That's like the most logical place it goes in. There's nowhere else to see. I will say though, it doesn't feel like there's a magnet here. Even though there's supposed to be one. As you see, there's a magnet there, but I don't feel any... I don't really feel much magnetism here. There might have been one, but it's very weak. And as you can see when you put it in, it's pretty wobbly, let's say the least. Again, I don't think that's going to be an issue though, because this piece here is going to basically put that in place, because this magnet is very strong. So we will be putting this essentially in right now. See, it just goes in like that, boom. And doesn't go anywhere. The magnets are extremely strong on that. So that's what it looks like so far, looking very clean. It's at an angle, which looks nice. Now, another thing I've noticed, only until recently, was the reason why there's two bases, and I couldn't figure out where he stands, is because the second base, or this, are not supposed to be connected. This statue is supposed to be a two-base statue. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I mean. So basically, one of his feet go in here. All right, this is him, by the way. And the other foot goes on the back of that base. Now, on the back of this base here, there's nowhere really in particular to put his feet. I believe it should just be this indent right here. Is my assumption, where you place your feet. Again, there's no attachment or anything like connected to it. And I believe the reason why they made that is because it's a lot easier probably just for you to put his foot on there, because they don't want to mess up the angle, I believe, and have to force someone to put it at a certain angle. So yeah, I believe you just put his foot resting on that back part of that base. But yeah, the goal is to obviously connect this first foot here. So we're going to try to do that without hitting any of the effect pieces here. If it goes in, I believe it should be in soon. Okay. There. The foot is in, as you can see. Okay, and obviously, it's going to snap if you don't hold the back. So make sure you're holding the back of his cape of some sort, or body, as you put that foot in. And then obviously the back foot, we're going to try to put on the second base. And again, I'm not entirely sure where they did put his foot on the base in the design or picture, but so far I got it kind of looking like this. I feel like the angle is off though, so we're gonna try to adjust him, but I do believe it's because he should probably be something like more at an angle like this. All right, again, we can later always adjust his angle, but that's what it looks like so far in terms of what we got. Again, maybe the base is facing the wrong way. So I'll mess around with that base later and let you guys know how it looks. But let's do what's next, which is the sword. The Zanpakuto. Again, very, very high quality Zanpakuto. I think the main thing is maybe just, I wouldn't even say it's a packaging issue here. I think it's just personally the way they designed certain things are just easy to break. I am glad the body came in one piece somehow, so I was very surprised about that. But yeah, we'll have to see the most optimal foot spacing for the back foot. But here's on my toe. Again, you just place it in. I'm gonna figure out a way to slide this in real quick, and I'll catch you guys. All right, so time to slide the sword in here, and this should be fairly easy, I'd hope. It did miss that other hole there. Might have to force it a little bit. Just be careful, guys, when you do this. Depending on the angle, it might be easier or harder. Make sure it feels smooth enough when you put it through. Otherwise, you're really going to damage the body, and you don't want to damage the body. And I believe the sword is stuck there. Hold on, give me a second. Talking about damaging the body, I think I just put the sword in wrong. It should be this way. Going through from the front here. And then you want to be careful for each end of the sword, of course, as you slide it slowly through. This is going to be a pain to put in, unfortunately, just because of the way they built this. Okay. I have to slide the chain in slowly first. I mean, we could just force it in, but I don't know if it will fit in through with the chain here. Does not seem like it wants to go through. Okay, I'll have to move to round 2. An alternative method. I'm gonna try to put the chain through first. The only problem here is because of the angle and how light the chain is, it just dangles